What's up all? This is Andre Collins. Just wanted to stop by and share a quick little tutorial. I got the idea to do these little quick stay sharp tutorials that'll kind of show you guys some things that you may or may not already know, but little tips and tricks that I've stumbled across in the years that I've been in production, DJing, working as a musician, worship leader, different things like that. A lot of different tips and tricks that I've picked up and over the years, and just wanted to share some of those with you. So the first one I want to share is actually a quick way to make click tracks when you're kind of in a bind. Now this does require you to have one or two things, either Logic Pro, GarageBand for the MacBook, or GarageBand for your iPhone, iPad, works for all of those. Of course, MacBook Pro if you're using a computer. But inside of Logic and inside of GarageBand, there's a thing called Drummer. And once you start a track, which, if you started a brand new track, you would get this window here where it shows Drummer, a drop-down menu for genre. I usually start off with percussion because that's going to be your kind of foundation for the track that you're trying to create. The first one that's going to usually pop up is Latin, and the drummer, quote-unquote, is Isabella. What I like to do is, as you can see, I have three different drummers here between Isabella, Quincy, and Finn, and they all have the genre of music that they create beside them. So I'll let you hear what Isabella sounds like in her initial preset. Pretty straightforward. Latin percussion. The name of that preset is Coconut Groove. And all of these presets are adjustable. This one is called Miami Nights. So pretty simple stuff. So what I like to do is a lot of times I'll start off with like Quincy, which is pop percussion. And once he comes up, what you'll see is these different instruments here. Hopefully you can see them on your screen. I'll get rid of that. These different instruments here are either highlighted yellow or they're grayed out. Grayed out means they're not going to be included in this loop. So right now we're at 110 BPM, 4/4 time. This is about 8 bars. Excuse me. This is Quincy. So that alone, you could get a little bit done, especially for a lot of praise and worship stuff. Of course, speed the tempo up. If you don't want those bongos, you simply select it. And if you saw right up here, those bongos disappeared. And then, it's going to sound like this now. At this point, if that's all your drummer needed or all you needed for your service, you would simply loop it out, bounce it out for however long it needs to be, or you could play it directly from Logic Pro, and you've got a click track. Of course, you can fill in a little more things, get it going. Right here is your fills, which will, if you see this last section right here, he's going to do a little bit extra. So listen to that. When it gets to that 8th bar, he's going to do a little fill. And there'll be more and more fills the higher you have this fills location. Nothing simple, it's percussion. So of course right now it's almost emulating you having an actual percussionist with you. He's almost soloing at this point, all the different things he's got going on. And if I were to stretch this out, it would even be, it wouldn't just keep repeating. It'll actually start creating more and more fills based off of this percussionist, Quincy. So of course you got a lot of room to mess around with the different sections. These are the parts. So I have here the cabasa, shaker, and tambourine. If I switch it to 3, it'll change how they are playing. Switch this to 1 through 6. A A lot of times 5 I think is like half time and 6 is double time. So if you're clapping 1, 2, 3, 4, if you switch it to 6, it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple things like that. If you get a little swing going on, details, auto halftime, how human like it is. I mean, you can really get into details. It's great for percussion if you don't have the ability to, for production. If you don't have the ability to hire a musician to play these certain parts, you can still get a realistic sound. Of course, it's not going to be perfect, but it'll definitely get you through whatever you're doing if you need to at least put a reference down. And if you are, playing in church and you don't have a drummer, I mean, a lot of times I'll go straight there and I'll add a second drum track. And in this drum track, I'll pick something like, let's say rock. Now, when I get this person, there's going to be a lot more going on. You're still going to have that first track, but now I got cow. So you don't have a drummer, that's no problem at all. Kyle could show up, Logan, Anders, Max, Jesse, Ian, and that's just your rock drummers. You got alternative drummers, quite extensive list, songwriters, R&B drummers. Nothing like a good Benny with that modern Motown. So once again, that's basically it. At this point, you would loop it out, bounce it out. I've done it many services when I didn't have a drummer myself. I would simply basically stagger the beginning, so it'll start off with the click, and then the drummer will come in. Really simple stuff. So if you are in a position where you need click tracks, and you have access to Logic Pro, you have access to GarageBand on your MacBook Pro or on your iPad or iOS device, this is a simple way for you to get it done. And that concludes my first Stay Sharp tip. And I hope to be able to share a lot more with you guys. See you next time.